Hello, SpongeGex here with my thoughts on the third and final season of Sonic Prime. Previously, I mentioned how I loved the first season, but found the second season a bit underwhelming and repetitive. So it disappoints me to say that while season 3 wasn't bad, it was kind of underwhelming. If I were to rank the seasons, I'd say season 1 was the best. It gave a great introduction to, what seemed like a pretty great show, but as it went on, it didn't turn out quite as exciting as season 1 first made itself out to be. Season 2 was arguably the worst. Not bad, though, just kind of boring in comparison. And season 3 was second best. It was pretty mixed. So while the first season had Sonic jumping from world to world and being introduced to different versions of his friends and foes, season 3 mostly takes place on just one location, just a barren wasteland. Most of the season is just a long fight between Sonic, along with his alternate dimensional friends, Shadow, and even the Egg Council, as they take on the show's new main villain, Nine. The action scenes were decent, but seeing the characters throwing off the same fight moves over and over across 7 episodes in a row, it does get a little tiring after a while. The writing was arguably pretty weak. It was very repetitive. We get it. These characters have trust issues, but it gets real old to have to hear the characters say, "I knew he couldn't be trusted," multiple times in one episode. And so...
Sonic, you realize that you cannot trust the Council.
Told you we couldn't trust that fox.
While this season was very repetitive, it unfortunately also has no new locations or characters to be introduced, and we do get some decent fight scenes as Sonic and Pals fight off an army of robotic clones of Sonic and his friends. Kind of funny how Nine's ultimate weapon was a giant Big the Cat robot that fires froggy missiles. Each character gets a chance to shine, with Rebel Rouge getting a chance to lead the resistance to fight off Nine. We see Captain Dread even get a bit of redemption as he finally realizes his crew is more important to him than seeking treasure, and he even passes down his captain duties onto Black Rose in a pretty wholesome scene. And
you'll always have me loyalty, Captain Rose.
Did you just call me Captain?
Speaking of which, the trio of Amy's alternate dimension selves have had to have been the heart and soul of this whole entire series. They got great development all around, and it was really cute to see the three embrace each other and even consider each other sisters. There's one great moment where Rusty Rose confronts her grim robotic copy, and she points out what makes the two of them so different. And, it's a great scene. Sonic eventually talks Nine into giving up, and they end up working together to try to prevent all the worlds from shattering before it's too late, and they eventually find a way to make everything right. However, the Egg Council betrays everyone, and they try claiming the Prism Shards, but unlike the lessons Sonic and his alternate dimensional friends have learned throughout the series, the Council disagrees with their plans and end up fighting each other because they just can't get along. So it causes Sonic and Pals to attack them while they're fighting, as they end up sending them into a different dimension. The crew manage to absorb the Prism energy from Sonic to restore all of their worlds back to the Shatterverse, but this maneuver causes Sonic to get incredibly weak and he starts fading away. The only way to save him is to get him back to his own world, as Sonic's friends race him back to the portal before it's too late. Sonic manages to get back, and he's warped back in time to the moment where he shattered the prism and caused all of this madness to begin with. Instead of shattering the shard like before, he works together with his friends to prevent Eggman from harnessing the prism's power. Suddenly, Shadow appears and warps the prism away. Where he went, who knows? Will the show ever give us an answer? No. Unfortunately, the show has been confirmed that it will not continue, at least at this moment, which is a real shame. The series abruptly ends with Sonic joining his friends on a picnic. He's about to describe his life-changing journey, but a Prism Shard explosion occurs off-screen. Sonic sees an unspecified threat appear, and he and his friends race towards it. Unfortunately, the show has no new episodes planned at the moment, like I mentioned, and that's a real shame, because, will we ever get a Sonic TV show that breaks the cliffhanger ending curse? For crying out loud. We all knew the show was going to end with Sonic reuniting with his friends and learning from his mistakes, but I was hoping it would feel a little more impactful and wholesome than what we were left with. I originally thought Sonic Prime was the best TV show of Sonic, just based on the first season alone, but after seeing the series as a whole in its entirety, it is a very mixed show. But to be fair, I think every Sonic show is mixed. Not a single one is perfect. Although, in my opinion, I consider Sonic X and Sonic Boom to be some of the better TV shows. I kind of would like to put Sonic Prime in between. I still think Sonic X is the best, but I do think Sonic Prime offered a little more of what I was wanting in Sonic Boom. Like, Sonic Boom may have more episodes, but it was just a little too silly and kind of, production and quality-wise, I think it was lesser than Sonic Prime. Sonic Prime clearly had a lot more effort put into it, despite how it had fewer episodes, but the biggest problem with Sonic Prime is it just squanders its ideas. It just focuses too much on just like the same few locations, the same few character variations. I mean, we had a world where Sonic could explore different worlds, and instead he keeps jumping between like the same 3 over and over, to the point where the final season just takes place in like 2 worlds, mostly in arena. It takes up like so many episodes, and the plot itself just became very repetitive and underwhelming. The show will definitely be more exciting for kids, but for long-time older Sonic fans, it might leave them a little more, wanting a little more, And so, if there's anything worth praising the show for, it would be for the characters, the action scenes, the animation, and the voice acting. But the writing and locations of the show could have been a lot better. Overall, it's not a bad show, but not as good as the show first led me on to. So I'd probably give the season and the series as a whole a 6 out of 10. Well, that's all I have to show for now. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and have a great day.